Hi, I'm Tyrrell of Uncommon Knowledge, and welcome to Building Rapport with Your Therapy Clients. 3 specific ways and why remembering tiny details makes the biggest difference. And there's also a video demonstration embedded in the article for this. So how do you feel when someone forgets your name? After you've spoken to them a lot and got the impression that they know you. It might not send you into a spiral of depression, but it's not very nice either, is it? So now, how would you feel if you sat with someone for a whole hour, telling them about what's happening in your life, and at the end of that time, they'd forgotten the name of your partner? The partner whose name you mentioned so frequently in the course of the conversation, the partner who recently left you, and they get the name wrong or they forget it. Let's put this another way. How does it feel when you briefly mention some detail and the person you're talking to actually remembers it? How special, listened to, and therefore connected to a person do you feel when they feed back some detail you've told them, perhaps only once? The angels in the detail. Recalling things that people tell you and then talking about them opens a doorway into their world. And of course, we all forget details sometimes in daily life. We're human, but as counsellors and therapists and coaches, we should make it a point of honor to remember as much as possible what our clients tell us. So how can you use detail to increase a sense of rapport with your client and make your therapy more effective? 3 specific rapport building techniques. Number 1, remember timing is everything. If someone mentions to me in passing that they love water skiing but haven't done it for years, I could of course pick up on that and talk about it right there and then. I could do that. But if I don't particularly acknowledge this nugget at the time, almost as if I haven't heard it, but then much later refer back to it, the impact of me recalling this detail that they'd barely mentioned and therefore showing just how intently I'm taking what matters to my client into account is very rapport building. So in the case of our water skier, if an appropriate opportunity arose, the conversation might go something like this. So the client might say, I feel as if my life is just swamped by work. I really need to be able to organize my time better and set limits on how much work I do at the weekends. And I might say, well, you know about the importance of balance in life, of course. I'm no expert, but I guess that when you water ski, if you're off balance, you can't really go forwards because you'll just sink. And I would imagine that you can only really fully enjoy the pleasures of water skiing when you've got more in control and can reliably keep your balance. That's when the fun really starts, isn't it? I suppose. So in this scenario, I've brought up something they've only briefly mentioned, barely mentioned at all at some previous point, maybe even a previous session, so minutes, hours, or possibly even several sessions before. And I've also used it as a potential transferable resource, the balance, determination, and skill needed to water ski, and also the fun that it entails as well. So it's also useful to log briefly mentioned details in your mind to use later during a hypnotic session. So number 2, don't overdo it. So rather than saying, now, you know how you previously mentioned that you like to water ski, you might just casually bring up water skiing or whatever the subject is in the conversation, as I mentioned, without drawing any special attention to what you're doing. Okay. This allows a sense of rapport to build almost below consciousness. They just somehow know that you've connected with them on the water skiing level, and they might even have forgotten they'd mentioned it themselves. The client will pick up the fact that you've remembered a small but important detail and will respond accordingly. You don't have to shine a bright light on it. Number 3, right away. When your client has left, always write down the details of what they've told you, the names of people who matter to them, the dates, times of events, stuff they've told you that's important to them, and minor details. Obviously, you should keep this information under lock and key for the sake of confidentiality. But before you see them again, next time, hypnotically rehearse using these details to help make it feel natural to use them. Dropping in accurate details from the client's life, especially if they've only mentioned it once, is the magic potion of rapport, as it gives them a sense of being uniquely understood at the same time as helping you understand them. The kinds of details you can use include names of partners, family members, colleagues, co-workers, friends, significant people, and each one you memorize will provide you with an extra brick in building rapport. Places, where they went on vacation, where they went on holiday, where they grew up, where they met people who are important to them. It's not that you have to ask for all the detail, but just be prepared to mention it if they mention it. Facts. For example, if you're seeing a smoker, remember if they've quit smoking before, and if so, how long they stayed free of it that time, how old people are in their life, what they've told you about what people do and have said to them, and so forth. Interests, likes and dislikes, such as the water skiing example. Incidentals about the therapy sessions themselves. It may seem trivial to say, last week it was pouring with rain when you came to see me, wasn't it? But it's great to see the sun is shining this week. And it conveys the message that I recall our session in detail, and this is a progression, rather than, have I seen you before? I dimly recall I've seen you before somewhere, So in summary, using what might seem like superficial, trivial stuff can help us build truly deep rapport with our clients, as it can with people in everyday life, of course. People need to have a sense that the minute detail of their life is respected and valued and important. It provides a powerful antidote to the deadening sense of insignificance and unimportance that blights so many lives and gives people a sense that they matter, which matters. So I hope you found that useful, and if you did, please hit like and subscribe. And if you want to hear when my next video is published, hit the notification bell below. That would really help me out. And I'm Mark Tyrrell of Uncommon Knowledge, and if you'd like to subscribe to my email newsletter, you can find it over at unk.com/blog. That's unk.com/blog. And thanks for watching.